How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. As you can see here, we are still out fishing here in November. Probably one of the last few times I'm going to be able to get out and fish for bass this year before ice up. We've been doing some hunting and stuff like that. But this video is brought to you by and sponsored by Mystery Tackle Box. Able to do a little bit of a partnership with them. It's going to bring you guys some savings and stuff like that to you. I'm going to be opening the box that I just received this month of November. We're going to go through all the baits and stuff in here. We're going to talk about what they are, what I think you can use them for to catch fish, and also, you know, if you're in the south or a part of the country where it's not going to freeze up here soon, you're going to be able to use these a little bit longer. If you're new to Mystery Tackle Box and you just want to get started, stuff like that, you can use promo code Preston. It's going to get you $10 for your first box if you're new to Mystery Tackle Box. So if you're a new customer, you want to try it out, your first box will only be $10. One cool thing going in with Mystery Tackle Box here is that all these baits and stuff, you're going to be saving over 40% off as if they were retail. So if you're going to have them at retail price, you go get these baits in store, you're going to be paying more and more. And as everything going on with these days, prices of tackle and everything else is going up. So this is a good way to get a good variety of baits, but also be able to get them at a cheaper price. All right, let's dive into this month of November, my Mystery Tackle Box that are showing up. So what you're gonna get here, this is pretty funny. That's a pretty cool sticker. You're gonna get a sticker. This is what I got this month. You're going to get a Dibble fishing tips and tricks by Carl Van Dibble. Basically go through here, there's a lot of, what's this one, thunderbolts and lightning for fishing, 5 tips for bass in tough conditions, which we're having right here. Don't leave these 3 lures at home, and how to be a better net man. Just some little articles and stuff in here that you can read if you're new to fishing, or you know, just pick up more information, stuff like that. Next, they're gonna have this what is this? Oh, the baits are going to be on what's inside our box here today. So diving in here, what's on top. This is the Googan Squad Grass Hero jig. This retails for $4.99. We got it in a bluegill color. When fishing is really tough, especially like what it is here today, I've been throwing a lot of bottom baits and stuff like that to catch some smallmouth here, and a jig especially is a great way to catch fish in tough conditions. Now this is a swim jig, so you're going to be able to use this around vegetation, or I like to float it around wood and stuff like that. We don't have as much vegetation here in the fall, obviously, because it's getting cold out here. So what I'll do is actually do longer pauses and maybe put a heavier plastic on the back of this, so it gets to the bottom, and I'll end up dragging this on the bottom to get more bites. It's perfect size, especially when those bass are getting finicky here in the north. They're going to be able to you know, get fat for the winter and stuff like that, so they're eating as much, but on a cold front day like today, they won't be maybe eating as much. So smaller profile bait will definitely what you go for. If you're in the south or fishing ponds or anything like that, wood, stumps, vegetation, stuff like that, I would put a little more lighter action bait on there to make plastic on there, and then slow roll it, fish a finesse jig or the swim jig as you normally would, because this one's a 1/4 ounce. I would float it up higher in the water column, but like I said, today they're eating off the bottom, so I would throw this with a heavier plastic on there. Next, we have the Savage Gear 3D Baitfish Paddle Tail. This is a 3-piece that comes with this, and this retails for $8.99. Like I said, you're getting stuff cheaper here. These are what they look like. Now, you're thinking, where can I use this up north? The bodies of water that I fish in North Dakota especially most of them have a great population of white bass, and this looks perfect for a white bass. You can even take one of your markers, Sharpie marker, put some black lines on there that they're normally white bass have on them. Or if you're down south, shad is king, especially in the fall. That's why it's part of this box. I just returned home from Lewis Smith Lake in Alabama and Grand Lake in Oklahoma, and I've never seen so many shad in my life. And this is like about the perfect size, how big it is across, that the shad were that we're actually seeing. This is in, let's see, it's inline or whatever you call it, so it's got the jig head and the hooks already in there. So basically plug and play, tie this on, cast it out, reel it in, or I would even stroke it, let it fall to the ground. or to the bottom. We're getting some, if we get some colder weather here and they get some colder weather farther south or wherever you're at in between for these fish, shad don't like colder weather, so you almost have like what they call a shad die-off. So the shad will actually, a major population of them will die off, and then some of them, they won't be dead and float to the top. They'll kind of be alive. They'll swim a little bit and fall, swim a little bit and fall, where your jerkbait's coming into play there. Use this as the same way. You can reel it, stop and kill it, it'll fall down, or you could pop it up into the group of shad that is dying off, and the bass will love it. Don't forget, I know this is a bass box that I have this month. I'd be throwing these for walleyes and pike and stuff like that all across the belt. Next we have the Spearpoint EWG standard gauge hook. These are they come with 3/0 and 4/0 size in the 2-pack here, and these retail for $1.80. They got 2 different sizes on here. We got a 3/0 and a 4/0, like I was saying. This comes with their patent pending V grip on the back here. Cool little sample pack if you've never heard of this company. I actually never heard of them before either. A little sample pack to try out new hooks. If you're looking for a different kind of hook that you want to play around with, it's a great way to do it. I like using these EWG worm hooks. I like using them with no weight on there. Texas rigging, a stick bait, Cinco, something like that, or even a creature bait with a small tungsten weight, Texas rigged. So like I said, today's to be the day for me because fish are eating off the bottom, tube jigs, Ned rig, stuff like that. So a light Texas rig with a plastic on there would be great. So it's a great way to try out some new hooks. Next we have Baker Lures, the JLD series. This is our jerkbait, and this retails for $9.99. It's a suspending jerkbait, kind of in that sexy shad color here. Same thing that I was mentioning, obviously, for the plastic baits here, the Savage Gear swim baits. Same thing going on across the country. If you have shad, the shad die off because if you're getting cold weather. A jerkbait, like I mentioned just before, is actually another great way to do it. Cast it out, reel it down, give it some pops. This one's a suspending jerkbait, so you're going to reel it down to the level that you want. And when you pause it, it doesn't rise, it doesn't sink. Now that is pretty relative. You have to look up on your water temperatures, because baits at certain buoyancy will go up or down depending on the water temperature. But for the most part, if this is going to go anywhere, if the water temperature is off, it's going to go super slow or super slow down, which having movement this time of year in your bait isn't a bad thing. If you're not comfortable throwing these on a bait caster, do not be afraid to throw it on a spinning rod. I have one on a spinning rod here today. Don't be afraid to throw it on a spinning rod. Cast it out, reel it down, twitch, give it a pause, stuff like that. It'll be another good bait for you. Then we have the 13 Fishing. This is the Joystick ultra thin rabbit ear tail. So it's almost like a little drop shot bait, or a shaky head bait, something like that. We're going to open it up and I'll show you what it looks like. If I can get it open. This retails for $5.99. These are cool. I dig this color. I can't. This is Blueberry Yum Yum. So if I can hold this here so you can see this. And look at this little tail here. If I can get this thing to split. Rabbit ear. Now, if this, even though it's blue, okay, some of the shad and stuff when they're swimming in the water kind of give off a blue tinge, bluegill, stuff like that. Or I've caught fish on pink worms, so it really doesn't matter sometimes the color. Anything that'll just stand out. I really like these ears on here, or the tail on there, because that's going to give you a kicking action, but instead of kicking at the same time, these suckers are going to kick back and forth, serpentine style, and they'll give you more action, especially if you throw this on a drop shot, or shaky head. When it falls, those tails are going to be displacing water on the way down. So not only are you going to hear the bloop of your weight going in, but it's also going to be swimming down there as well. And then when you shake it, these things will almost, like if they move a lot of water, I found that baits that move a lot of water, you'll be shaking this, and since they displace so much water, they don't necessarily move back here. So it's like stationary here and the rest of the worm wiggles. It's kind of a cool way to do that. Yes, it may look small, but the forage can be pretty small this time of year, so I really like that. Last but not least, the Bill Lewis Square Bill, the SB-57 crankbait. And this retails for, this is the MDJ series, the Mark Daniels Jr. series, $8.99. Sexy shad pattern. Again, as you can tell, there's a theme here in this box because of the shad patterns and stuff like that. But don't be afraid. Again, this looks like if you're up north with white bass, anything like that, or take a little marker and color it up a little bit, put a little green on there, or black Sharpie works good. It'll look like a perch. It doesn't take much. If you guys get one of these in your box and want to change it a little bit, black Sharpie, mark it up a little bit, put some black on the bottom, stuff like that. You can make it one color bait, make one colored bait look like a bunch of different colors. And that, like I said, retails for $8.99. So like I mentioned before, if this mystery tackle box is something that you haven't tried already and you want to get into it, your first box can be for $10 if you use that promo code Preston at your purchase. There'll be links in the description for mystery tackle box and how to get on carls.com to order your mystery tackle box. So hope these you guys learned something about this. This is something that, you know, these baits will definitely catch you fish if you know and how to use them at the right portion of time. But a lot of these that you can see in this box, besides maybe the blue worms, are something that's really trying to match this hatch this time of year. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Once again, this video is sponsored by and brought to you by Mystery Tackle Box. So thanks for watching. Tune in next month.